And welcome to our 2021 High School Basketball Media Day coverage here from the CEC TV studios, Dixie State University. We're excited. We've got you for the next couple of hours. We're going to talk with every single region coach and select players, getting you ready for games that begin this week here in 4A in Region 10. First up, the Dixie Flyers, Coach Tyler Roberts. With Coach Roberts, we got Bronson Barbin, Risco Brooks, and Kean Webb. And Coach, good to have you back on set, man, and let's start with you and just kind of give us an overall preview for the Flyers this year and catch us up with how the summers went and give us an outlook on the team this year.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Obviously exciting times. One, obviously because of COVID, being able to have fans this year will be exciting, and we're looking forward to that. Summer was great. We got out, all the guys, we had everybody, kind of come together. And we traveled all over the place and played in some big tournaments and got some of our younger guys some experience as well. And it was a great summer, and just looking forward to kicking off the season here this week.
Talk with the players in just a second, but of course, let's introduce the panel here asking questions. To my right, Darren Cole and Andy Thompson. And our Media Day coverage brought to you by Ideal Home and Paint, Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, Bucks Ace Hardware, and Holbrook Asphalt. Tell us a little bit about the depth of this team. Talk about the rotation a little bit. Maybe give us a projected starting five for the Flyers this year, because you got some young guys coming up through.
Right, yeah. Again, obviously, we had a little late start, thanks to football, which I take that all the time, right? We love our football team going deep into the playoffs, and congratulate them on a successful season they had. But yeah, bring some toughness. As you guys know, Bronson Barbin, he brings that leadership and toughness that we need. He started half the season for us last year, so Bronson will be a huge part of our team and the chemistry that he brings for us. Risco Brooks is another one of our starters, also point guard. That he was here last year with us, played some backup, had a few injuries last year, but he's had an unbelievable summer. He's the type of kid that just works his butt off. He's working out 2-3 times a day, and his game really shows on that. And then Kean's continued to develop, and played on some other club teams too, so he's gotten some exposure there. And just the leadership that he brings and the toughness, So obviously I have those three, and then, the biggest thing is we have depth. We can go big and we can go small. Cam Dyer's another kid that we've added to our potential starting lineup too. That's just a tough, big, strong kid. And then Grant Carter, as you guys know, Grant's had a great successful seasons as an underclassman, so he'll be able to step in and give us some really good minutes at the starting two guard.
Last year you guys were second in 4A, 19-5 overall, 12-2 in region. How does this team pace compared to last year's team? And I know you guys had that quarterfinal loss to Ridgeline, but how hungry is this team, and how do you compare them to where you're at right now versus last year?
Definitely two different teams. This team, last year we were really guard heavy. This year we've got a lot of bigs. So our big lineup is, at one point in time, we can have young Kyle Lemke also that plays, but we can have Kean at 6'10", Kyle at 6'8", Barbin at 6'4", 6'5", Cam's at 6'6", and then Risco and those guys around 6 foot. So we could be a lot bigger. That doesn't mean that we're going to slow it down any. We've always consistently been able to push it really well. We'll continue to do that. We do have some young guards too that will be able to step in and give us some good minutes and some good time, whether it's a point guard position or a shooting guard. That they've played a lot of tournaments over the summer too. They'll be able to step in and help us.
Coach, the area of emphasis and rules this year is post play, post defense, and given and you guys are stacked, but as far as size go, but experience not so much. Does that emphasis hurt you guys or help you guys, you think?
I still think it helps us, right? I got to be optimistic about any approach with that. But I think by them playing together as much as they have now, we can go high-low, we can mix it up that way. And of course, the emphasis being post-defense. If a big gets in foul trouble, we've got another big that can come in and replace them. So I think that helps us out, being big, obviously, this year, and the emphasis that they're putting in the post.
Coach, the three-point shot at all levels of basketball has skyrocketed as far as volume per game. Since you've been and I know you've been at Dixie for a long time as an assistant before head coach, how have you seen the high school game kind of follow that trend, or are they bucking the trend a little bit? And do you like kind of where basketball is going that way?
I think every team's different, honestly. And I think as a coach, if you stick to one thing, right, because we can't just say we got guards this year, we're always going to shoot the three, or we got bigs this year. You know, I think as a coach, you have to adapt and you have to be able to change and be able to, play to your strengths. And, this year our strength, yeah, we can shoot the three, but I'd rather have an inside-out three or maybe a transition three. But I would say over the years, it's definitely trending towards, three-point shots. But the year we won it in 2020, we actually were probably one of the lowest attempted shooting three-point teams. And so I think that says a lot. I think you have to have a combination of both. You have to have the inside game. You have to have inside presence, right? And that could have hurt us last year. We were very guard heavy, and our guards were good, but we needed a dominant post. So I think they go with each other.
Let's bring in the players, and we'll circle back to Coach for some more questions in just a second. Flyers with us here, kicking off our 2021 Region 10 Basketball Media Day. Bronson, let's start with you. I mean, you guys don't have a starter back per se. You lost most of your starters from last year. Is that something that you guys can spin as an advantage because maybe they didn't see as much? I know you played a lot of minutes last year, but to talk about no starters back on this year's squad.
Yeah, it's a little different. Last year we came really close together, and we're still trying to get our chemistry together. But I think once we do that, we're gonna be a really good team.
What's been the adjustment like? It's always tough, right? The first couple weeks trading the oblong football for the round basketball.
Yeah.
But has it been smoother this year? I mean, you've done this before.
It was a little harder with my injury on my ankle, but it's been getting better. Conditioning is a lot harder coming from football to basketball, so just been working on running a lot more, getting in shape.
Kean, I got a question for you. We were talking earlier with among ourselves, and the region lost a lot of talent last year, and especially at the post position. You got the Simmons kid coming back, and a couple other starters. What great opportunity for someone like you to fill that vacuum, right? How's your game going as far as, I know defensively you've always been a presence, but offensively, how do you feel your game's been going?
I feel like it's been good. Just working every day, getting better, just trying to make the right play, not force. Kickouts definitely help. Having shooters around me, Bronson, Risco, Grant, of course, and I feel like if I get a one-on-one, I can go on one-on-one, just working on stuff like that.
Risco, I'm curious about Dixie's always, especially under Coach Roberts, won with defense. Like that's the number one priority for you guys. What's a practice like? What's the focus on? It seems like that is your number one thing every year. Like we're going to D up everybody, and that's how we're going to win. Tell me about kind of that mentality for the Flyers.
Every day in practice, we always work on defense every single day. And I think defense is one of the best things to just get, the offense tired, just keep them running. And while we work on defense, we get our conditioning. So the more they get tired, the more we have more opportunities on offense then, because they're tired from just, offense, going to defense, and just keep going.
And what do you see your role specifically as like on this team in regards to defense?
I'm probably going to be, picking up everyone, whoever's dribbling. I'm trying to, put pressure on them, get them tired so that they can't guard me if I'm, come back in on offense.
Awesome.
Risco, having Keon behind you, or even Lemke or Dyer, in years past, whenever I've talked to the points or the wings from Dixie, I said you put on pretty good ball pressure defense, and they said, yeah, that's because we know we got Noah Lemke behind us if we get beat. Do you guys have that same sort of comfort level with the guys you have now?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah. We still have to, play games, see how we're doing. I think we have to get more, as a team, because all of us are, coming in from outside, We haven't been together for, 2-3 years. So we just have to get more as a team and just, really start getting together and just working.
Kean, what's the signature move offensively?
I feel like going to the middle of my right post hook. So that's what I like to go to, but either hand really.
Or at least that's what he's saying in front of them.
You have to try to guard him to figure it out. Bronson, talk to me a little bit about, last year, a little bit of disappointment. You were coming on at the end of the season. How do you kind of get to where you were at the end of the season a little bit earlier for Coach Roberts this year?
Yeah, definitely started with just after practice, just getting a lot of shots in. That definitely helped me last year. So I just been getting my shots up, and then when Risco or Kean get the ball down low, or Risco drives, they can kick it out to me, shoot it or drive. So I think that will help too.
Coach, let's talk scheduling a little bit. I know you do have a Ridgeline. I mean, I'm sure Bronson will be looking forward to playing against Caden Cox and those boys. And they're good at basketball,
Yeah.
just like they were in football, obviously. But how have you went about trying to get your non-conference schedule, set up this year compared to when we had more COVID last year? Not that it's gone away, but
Right.
it was pretty tough there for a minute.
Right. Yeah. We again tried to create the best schedule we possibly could. Preseason games. I mean, with the RPI, it's every game matters, and so you try to create a schedule to give you. Obviously, you want to see some up north teams. I want to play some upper class teams also. But yeah, that Ridgeline game will definitely be a fun one. I know our student body is looking forward to that one as well. But they're a great team, and we just have to continue. Right now, it's just like they're talking about. We just got to continue to come together and keep working, and get that chemistry. And yeah, we could do some really good things.
Coach, I'm like Devin. Towards the end of the year, Bronson was my favorite player, and not because he didn't really score a lot. He just made plays, and literally, I think he kept you in some games or helped you win some games at the end of the season, especially in the tournament. Who else on your team is kind of in that mold that's coming up, do you think?
Right. I mean, Grant Carter, he's a kid that a lot of people really don't know about because he didn't get a lot of minutes last year, but another one that's put a lot of time in over the summer, and he'll hit shots and he'll do things that I don't think people are expecting. I also think Kyle Lemke is a guy that everybody will know about before too long because he's young, but he's very skilled. And again, with that little group that I've kind of traveled with, they played in over 70-something games this offseason and played up in every division. So I think there'll be some younger guys too that will be able to contribute and help us.
We asked Kean kind of how he developed some moves in the offseason. Bronson, I don't think he missed a three-point shot like the last 4 games of the regular season last year. What, as far as expanding your offensive repertoire, I guess, what has been your focus in the offseason?
Yeah, well, I got hurt in May, and my parents didn't really want me to do any basketball, so during the offseason, just me and my brothers would just go out and shoot and just, try to get better from that standpoint, I guess.
Love it.
Coach, do we know who you're playing on the 10th and 11th in that tournament?
So when we go up there, we start off with Juan Diego,
And then it's just a true.
and then it's a true tournament.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Who else is in that tournament?
So there's Sky Ridge, there's Copper Hills. I don't have that list in front of
No
me. but
Wasatch Academy.
No
this year?
Wasatch Academy this year. That was a fun game last year. That was a really fun, especially when you see the game just the other night. You have Gonzaga and Duke and some of those players, playing there. So that was kind of fun.
A couple more questions for any of the guys.
What, as far as the scheduling goes, do you guys have like a deal with them, a multi-year deal? It seems like you always start out with some region, with teams from the other region, and then that tournament always has 5A or 6A teams. Is that something that, I know you talked about scheduling earlier, getting the tough games up front, but
Right.
is that something that's multi-year, or is that something that just?
No, we just try to create it every year. Obviously this year we are playing Logan, we're playing Green Canyon, we're playing Ridgeline, and so we get to see those, those northern Utah teams, and then, the guys always want to play up, right? They always want to play the 5As and 6As because we've always felt like we can compete, and I think that helps. Being in some bigger games and going up to that Sky Ridge tournament, if we could beat Juan Diego, we could have a chance to play them on a Friday night, in front of their fans, which would be a great opportunity for our guys.
Coach, best of luck, man. Good to have the Fly Fam in, fellas. We'll see you on the court, huh? Starts this week. Ready to go. Dixie Flyers in the house. We're just getting started, and of course, at the end of the show, we'll have the media and coaches combined preseason order of finish plus the preseason MVP. First team, all that. So stick around. We're just getting going. Pineview will be next, followed by Snow Canyon, then Hurricane, Desert Hills, Crimson, and then we'll end with the defending state champs, the Cedar Reds, and Coach Esplin. Again, want to thank our sponsors, Ideal Home and Paint, Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, Holbrook Asphalt, Bucks Ace Hardware. Stick around. Coach Eves and the Panthers will be by next. Coach Eves is bringing Benson Shepard, Rushton Shaw, Turner Williams, and Cameron Larson. Devin Dixon, Darren Cole, Andy Thompson will have questions for the guys and coach when we come back as the media day coverage continues here on ESPN Radio and CEC TV.
How does one become a trailblazer? It happens through pushing, through stretching, through shattering the norm. For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow and has become the fastest growing, most affordable, and highest ranked institution in the state. With 200 academic programs, small class sizes, and active learning education, come see why Dixie State was voted one of the best colleges in the West.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
All right, we're getting going. We're underway here. Media Day coverage from CEC Studios, Jennings Building on the campus of the Trailblazers. Devin Dixon, Darren Cole, Andy Thompson hanging out with you. And now joining us, Coach Ryan Eves of the Pineview Panthers. Joining him, Benson Shepard, Rustin Shaw, Turner Williams, and Cameron Larson. We'll get to the players in just a second. But, Coach, you know the drill. Let's have some fun. Tell us about the offseason. Tell us about some of the newcomers on the team. And give us an overall preview for the Panthers this year.
Sure. Thanks for having us, Devin. We had a kind of a rough summer with just injuries. A lot of guys were out, but I'd say since school started, everybody's gotten back healthy. Spent a ton of time in the weight room this year, probably more than we have in the past. These seniors right here, and really worked on just the skills and getting bigger and stronger. So that's been nice. Added Turner this year. You guys probably watched him play a little bit of football, so we're excited to have his athleticism and his leadership. And these 3 right here, Rustin, Cam, and Benson, have worked extremely hard. I mean, in the weight room, in the gym every day, shooting every day, working on their skills. So it's been good.
Sounds like energy around campus at practice is pretty high.
Oh, yeah. It's been great. It's been awesome.
Let's talk a little bit about, the difference between last year and this year. How do you race last year? Just 6-16. I think you finished 6th in the region with a 4-10 record. How do you kind of flip that on the other side of those numbers?
Really, it's just all about attitude, about just guys that are willing to play together. Last year was rough. I mean, a lot of issues, but I think this group they're fun to coach. They fly around. We can get in and out of things. We're not huge. We haven't been huge for a while, but got a lot of guards. You can get in and out of things, and we shoot the ball pretty well. We'll get up and down, and it's fun. It's a fun team. They're coachable. They do they do everything they're asked.
Coach, last year, the top of the region were the bigger teams, and the ones at the bottom 3 or 4 were the smaller teams. And you really have not grown that much compared to the other team. I mean, the other teams have stayed big.
Yeah.
How do you combat going in against the teams that have the 6'10", the 6'8", 6'7" guys?
Just ball pressure. We got to pressure the ball more. We got to get up the floor a little more in the full court. I mean, yeah, everybody's got some size, but I don't know if we've seen anything like we saw last year with those 3 or 4 top teams. Everybody had a 6'7", 6'8" guy. So there's some good bigs in the region still, but I don't think it's as loaded with as bigs like we've seen. So guess we'll see, huh?
I'm just looking at the front end of your schedule. Pretty challenging, Coach. Just like with Dixie, some pretty big teams you guys are facing early.
Yeah, we head up to North versus South on Thursday.
Yeah.
Got Canyon View tomorrow at home, and then we'll play Mountain Crest, Ridgeline, Skyview. So it's a challenge, which we'll take it.
Yeah.
It's a good measuring stick for us, especially with that north region. There's only 2 regions this year, so we play pretty much everybody in that region. We'll play Logan down here. I mean, so yeah, it gives us a chance.
We've heard kind of mixed opinions on that, going back to football and stuff. 13-team region. What's your take on that, Coach?
I don't love it because that means we'll match up with somebody in our region most likely round 1.
Yeah.
We did that last year. I mean, played Hurricane in the first round. Football played everybody. And right. I mean, that takes the fun out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Where you're playing, you're banging on each other all year, and then first round you see the same team, but.
Coach, I want to talk about some underclassmen. We saw a little tiny bit of Nash Schroeder last year at the point guard. I don't know if we saw any of Canyon Dickinson, but I know he's an up-and-coming player in your program. How are you going to use these veterans, and how much youth will you actually get in the rotation this year? How's the underclassmen coming along, I guess would be the question.
I think we got 2 sophomores for sure that'll get some minutes with Nash and Griffin. Get Canyon some minutes here and there at the backup. But I think these guys do a great job every day in practice, just leading, showing the young guys how it's done, how to fly around, how to be coachable, how to, take care of business. So I'm excited for that. It'll be easy to transition for the next couple of years to have a couple guys with experience and leadership.
All right, we'll circle back to Coach Eves in just a second. Let's talk with Benson Shepard here. Leading scorer from the team last year, or close to it, right around 12, 13 points per game. What have you done in the offseason to get that up maybe 20 plus a game?
Well, a lot of games, AAU, and then got in the weight room trying to get stronger so I can, have more, better defense, get quicker, things like that.
You were a team leader last year, Benson, and so that rule hasn't changed. Has your approach changed at all? I know you got different personnel on your team. Have you changed your approach as to how you exhibit leadership on your team going into this season?
Well, I think I'll just go in as a leader and try and bring all these younger sophomores who will be playing more, show them what to do and get the game better. I don't know.
Cam, you didn't get a lot of varsity time last year, did you?
Nah, I mean, I got a few minutes towards the end of games, fourth quarter time, but got a few minutes.
So how valuable was the summer for you trying to get chemistry with these guys, being on the court more with them outside of just practice in a game time setting?
Well, I mean, summer was great. I mean, I think us as a whole team, we got to create a chemistry, kind of figure out each other's game as far as who we're going to find for spot up shooters and stuff like that with our bigs. We're not a huge team, but figuring out stuff like that. But it was great to get to know each other and what our strengths and weaknesses are.
Rustin, who designed these hoodies? You?
Oh, no, I did not. That was the coaches. They did a really great job. They
They're
did a great
good
job with all of
looking,
our gear. Yeah.
Coach, you designed those?
Yep.
Wow.
Come on, give me a little bit of credit. I should get a side job, make some money, for sure.
Rustin, just tell me where kind of the excitement level is for you. I mean, you were an integral part of the team last year, and now as an upperclassman, you got a big role, right? So talk about the excitement level for you and your teammates.
I think the energy is a lot different than it was last year. I think everyone's a lot more excited. I think we're more close as a team. Last year, it was kind of the relationship between the upperclassmen and the lowerclassmen. It was a little fractured. So I think this year it's a lot more cohesive. So I think that'll make it more fun to play and a lot more fun to just go out and have fun with the boys.
Holy cow, that was articulate. You got a future in broadcast.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Nice vocabulary.
Thank you.
Turner, you were one of the funnest guys to watch in football. We're excited to have you in Region Basketball. Tell us a little bit about your game and your history in playing hoops.
Yeah, so I played the last few years at Beaver High School. Then I moved down here, and football was awesome. I loved it. I go after on defense. I can get in the lane and spot up three. So whatever coach wants me to do, I'll do it. I'm just excited to play with these guys. The summer was awesome. I got to hit a few tournaments with them. So
awesome.
Super pumped.
How hard is it really to put all the time into football and then switch to basketball like that?
I mean, it's tough in the fact that like I don't put in as much time as these guys do. Like during the football season, obviously these guys are grinding out basketball every single day. But really, I'm just excited to get going again. And yeah, I don't think the transition will be too tough. So,
Rustin, other than yourself, who are the other big three-point threats on your team?
I would say Nash Schroeder, one of the sophomores. He's an extremely good three-point shooter. This guy right here is a great three-point shooter. But yeah, I think as a whole, as a team, we're going to shoot the ball extremely well. Since we don't have a ton of size, we're very guard-oriented.
Coach, does that drive you nuts sometimes, being a former post player, that you got these guards just want a gun?
I mean, you take what you get, right? I mean, if I got guards, we got a lot of guards this year, and I'm like, you can tell they're great kids, and they're going to work hard. We'll make something work.
Green light for everybody?
No, these guys know. Not everybody has the same green light. I mean, if a guy's worked on his game, he knows. These guys know what's expected of him, what's a good shot, what's probably not a great shot. You know, getting in the lane, getting guys an extra pass.
Tell us about Turner from a coach's perspective. Like, we know what kind of athlete he is. We saw him grind his tail off, do a little bit of everything. Is it the same thing in basketball?
Yeah, it is. He played. I mean, he had a lot of football, and he did track in the spring last year. And so we got him for 1 week and every game he played in. I mean, I don't think there was a possession he took off. And that's summer basketball, and that's playing. I mean, we played 15 games in 1 week at Dixie State and Crimson, and all these guys. I mean, we were battled a couple ankle sprains and bad backs and things, and they grinded, man. They played hard every possession. So he'll set the tempo with that, I think, for sure.
Cameron, even though you guys are comparatively smaller than the other teams, you got some guys that play above the rim on your team?
Oh yeah, I think Griffin Shepard and Scott Fulham are probably two of our guys that will get up. Like they're not afraid to drive to the hoop. I mean, whoever's there, they're going to take to the rack every single time. There's some guys, two of them right there, that I think will be super big threats as far as.
Which one would win in a dunk contest, head to head?
Griffin, for sure. I'm be honest. Griffin's probably our dunk guy, I'd say.
Is Cameron right, Coach?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How much excitement is there because things change like that from year to year, it seems like in region. Like, Coach, you go from having 5 juniors all back for 1 year with the Sud Weeks era, and then now you got brand new, and that's kind of how it seems like in the region, where like you guys could go from 6 wins in region to who knows how many.
Yeah.
That's probably some of the smiles on the faces, right? The anticipation of what can happen this year.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's excited before you play your first game, but I keep telling these guys, 1 game at a time. I think there's good enough coaches in this region that every year it really doesn't matter. I mean, I watched Hurricane play the other night. They're long, they're big and scrappy. I mean, everybody's improved, but can they put it together night in and night out? Is there as much lopsidedness as last year? I think it's a little more even in the region.
Awesome.
Turner, what's the first game? What's your box score going to look like? Like 7 steals, 4 assists, 6 points? Like what should we expect from you?
I just play hard. I don't worry about stats, so that's the last thing I'm worried about. But just playing hard for these guys and, doing our best,
Okay,
flying around.
fine. Good answer.
What a dream player to transfer into your
Russ,
program, right, Coach?
what should we expect stat-wise from Turner in the first game?
From Turner, I think of his stat line, I think he's going to be a lot of stuff that you don't see on the stats very much. Taking charges, diving on loose balls, deflections. I think it's all those little things that you don't see on the stat line.
You agree with that, Benson?
Yeah, definitely.
That was a great answer, though, Turner. I just wanted to see what Rusty's take was.
Turner, I have a question from last year's team that you played with. What's the difference? Is it a different style that they play down on this team, or is it a lot of the same that you had at your previous school?
It's definitely different. We played like old school basketball back in Beaver, so I understand how to play defense really well, and I didn't have the opportunity to score a lot the last few years, but just here it's more fast paced and a lot of different sets, but it's been pretty easy transition, so I'm excited for it.
Benson, what's the relationship with you and Griffin like?
Well, he's my little brother. And
Right.
Yeah, we're cool. You know? I don't know. What do you mean?
You guys fight at the dinner table?
Oh, no. That's more him and my older brother, you know?
So you guys get along really good?
Yeah, me and him are boys.
Who pushes who the most?
I push him more, definitely. He's catching up to me, though, so I gotta keep grinding, you know?
How does he help you?
How does he help me? I don't know. We play a lot of one-on-one, and we just, a lot of physical, no fouls called, you know?
So Thanksgiving Day, after you ate a bunch of turkey, who won the game of horse between you and Griffin?
A horse, me.
One-on-one?
One-on-one, I would still win. I don't care.
Big brother still got him for a little while longer.
What's it like, Cameron? You're anticipated to get some more minutes this year. Playing in the pit, home games, like there's nothing better than a Friday night in the pit, right?
No, yeah. I mean, I've grown up with Pineview, right? So
Yeah.
I've been there on the Friday nights when it's just electric. You just the crowd, just everything. So I'm just super excited to play for the student body, play for these guys for sure. And I mean, I couldn't be more honored to play for this program. Super excited.
Awesome.
Coach, how do you surprise some people? People are going to probably pick you guys down middle of the pack this year, just based on last year. It seems like there's kind of a little quiet confidence with this group this year.
Just good kids. They're straight shooters, like you can tell. People can pick us where they want. That doesn't bother me. It's just, like I said, you got to come out every night. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you're playing. I mean, we're down to, no Canyon View in our region. There's really not a team that's just even Canyon View is not a team you can just take lightly. So, got to be ready to go night in, night out.
How many football players do you have? Is Moten playing?
Moten's playing. Big Pete's playing.
Okay.
So, and Turner. Those are our main.
Big Pete's playing.
Yeah.
How's he looking?
We got. I shouldn't say we have no size. We got one big. So, he's taking up the paint. You know that. He's actually been really. I've been impressed. I mean, he decided out like a little bit later. Hey, if you'll have me, I want 100% in. We're like, it's a no-brainer. I'm not going to pass that up. And he's worked hard. He'll surprise some people, I think, for sure.
Love it. Love it. Any quick questions, guys?
Just real quick, I see your dad post these videos of his grandsons. Why couldn't you get your nephews to move into Pineview?
That's a sensitive subject. We won't talk about it.
Coach Eves, Benson Shepard, Cameron Larson, Rustin Shaw, and Turner Williams. Guys, best of luck this season. We'll see you out on the court. Games start this week, and we'll have a bunch of them live for you, a bunch of region games and Pineview games right here on 97.7 ESPN. Appreciate our great sponsors, Ideal Home and Paint, Johnson Pediatric Dentistry, our friends at Bucks Ace Hardware and Holbrook Asphalt. We got to take a time out. When we come back, 3-minute break, Snow Canyon Warriors, Coach Meacham and the guys will be in next as our 2021 Region 10 Basketball Media Day coverage continues here on CEC and ESPN. Stay with us.
Rule the playground. Toyota, let's go places.
Football is a game of life, and it brings a community together. White, black, boys, girls.
Flag, tackle. Football can revive communities. Anybody can play.
That family value, that brotherhood is everything.
It's really what all it's about, is just having a good time and being able to play.
There's never been play.
State Athletic.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
There is a place where the desert comes alive, where rain breaks forth from solid stone and gardens spring from blistered rock. There is a place with enough color to make a rainbow jealous, where boulders are bigger than buildings and cliffs are higher than clouds. There is a place that will straighten your step, tighten your grip, widen your eyes, and open your jaw. There is a place.
Media Day coverage rolls on here from CEC TV, Dixie State University, and glad you're with us on 97.7. Or if you want to watch and you're just tuning in, you can go watch it on our website, sportsradio977.com. It'll be all archived on demand, so if you missed anything so far, you can go catch up a little bit later. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, and we're diving into it. High school basketball firing up this week. Snow Canyon Warriors on set with us here. Coach Meacham. We got representing the rest of their teammates, Lyman Simmons, Zach Call, and Walker Morrison. And we'll get to the players like we always do in just a second. But, Coach, we want to hear from you. We want to hear about the offseason, sneaker sizes, how everybody's shooting it right now, and give us an overall preview for the Warriors this year.
We're having a lot of fun. I mean, these guys are such a great group of guys that just have been willing to put in extra time. We played as many games as we played since I've been down here. And, a few times I would even ask the players and parents, there's this tournament option, would you guys want to go to it? And they were always, yes, let's go. We drove down to Arizona for that Section 7 big-time tournament. It was awesome to just be in that environment and to go down there when it's 116 degrees in July. I mean, it showed these guys really love basketball.
Tell us about the team, the depth, who made varsity, who you keeping on JV. Give us an overall look at how the varsity roster looks.
Yeah, we've got probably as much depth, too, as we've had it. And it's been, as we change starting lineups in practice, there's not a lot of drop-off from the blue to the white. And so we, some of the tournaments we're in, we play 3 games in a row. And so to have depth, we're hoping and planning on that helping us, where some guys can step in if we have a player get in foul trouble. We have guys that are competent, that have played or started, different times through the off season, and it's been fun to watch them grow.
Coach, you're one of the few teams, or only one or two of the teams in the region that is not just returning starters, but returning depth too. I mean, you lost a couple of guys that were some key players, but for the most part, you've got not only most of your stars back, but most of your some depth players. With the emphasis on post play this year, you've really got an advantage there as well. Talk about your Zach Call and Lyman, taking advantage of some of the post play emphasis this year.
Yeah, our big focus has been run the floor, get some easy ones early, and so especially with Zach and Caleb Anderson Foreman, those two guys, they're like deer. They take off and run and get us some easy baskets, and those are some things that we've really tried to stress is transition on both sides. And Lyman has been able to do either run to the rim or trail and knock down the 3 as the trail big, and so those are things that we've talked about a lot, and that's what we feel like we have some. At times we may have some guys come in and all of a sudden just give us that spark, and that's what you hope you get from that bench.
Coach, this is now your 4th year. You guys were 16-8 last year and ended up 5th in region, I think 8-6. What gives you confidence that this group can take that step forward and contend for that region title this year?
I would say even as sophomores and juniors, the groups coming up have just really played the right way. I mean, it was there's an unselfishness about them when we've, and they know the games in the off season where it was like, wow, they're starting to understand that if I play for my teammates on both ends, good things can happen. And so our most recent tournament going up to the American Fork Tournament at Great Fall Western Classic, I felt like our guys were just playing, great. And so hopefully we can kind of keep that fire and that unselfishness where it's try to make plays for other guys on both ends, and that's something that we have talked about a lot.
Coach, last year you guys went into Dixie and played like almost a perfect game. You held them to 40 points. The team defense was just immaculate. I'm just curious this year, defensively compared to last year, what's the personality of this team? How many of those kind of killers on the perimeter do you have coming back?
Yeah, I feel like we've improved with shooting depth. I feel like we have guys that can go at any time, and sometimes that's, I think last year too, I think Dixie ended up with some guys with COVID the next few days after, so maybe there's another strain that catches them this time. But I think that our guys really have put time in shooting, and 1 through 4, 1 through 5. I mean, we have guys that can really knock down the three ball.
Talk about your depth a little bit more. You got Will Warner, you got Luke Hamlin, you got Anderson Foreman. You mentioned Will Warner's cousin moved in too. Remind me.
His name's Owen Mackey.
Owen Mackey.
Yeah.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah, he's a sophomore, and from Las Vegas, and he makes us better. He just makes the right play. He plays above the rim. We had a dunk contest at our blue-white scrimmage, and we actually had 3 guys compete in the dunk contest. And all my years coaching, I don't know if we've had 3 guys compete in a dunk contest, and it was fun to watch. And he ended up winning it, and just does some things that sometimes make you go, wow. He just unselfish player, and we're excited to have him. Bryson Baker, another senior, solid off the bench and could start, and he's just that kind of a player that accepts his role as a leader. And Cy Meacham also will help at the point guard position, and so we have different options.
Lyman, how did you lose the dunk contest?
I don't know.
You try to go power?
Judge just made a mistake, obviously, right?
Yeah. I don't even know. It was just kind of for fun. We were just goofing around. We were just having fun with it. I don't know. And Owen just, the judges liked him.
What have you specifically worked on in the summer? Coach said you guys played a ton more games than you have in the past. You probably went up against some highly recruited bigs in a bunch of those AU tournaments this summer. What do you feel like your skill set has gotten better at specifically by playing all those games against good opponents?
I just feel like I've gotten more aggressive and bringing more energy and running the floor. And I'm starting to see things a lot better, like spacing and just different opportunities to score and stuff like that.
How's recruiting going? Has it been fun? Has it been a distraction? I know you've probably got a lot of people looking at you, right?
Yeah, it's been really fun. I've talked to a couple of coaches, and it's just a lot of traveling, and it's really a good experience.
When do you think you'll decide?
I don't know, probably going into my senior year or something like that. But I haven't really been focusing on it too much lately.
Yeah, just let Coach answer all the recruiting questions, right?
Yeah.
Let's bring in Zach. Zach, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Where's your excitement level for the season this year?
Very high. Couldn't be better.
What makes you say that?
Our team has the longest bench that can go destroy whatever we want.
I love that answer. Destroy whatever we want. You're playing Minecraft over here? What's your specialty, man? What do you like to? You kind of get it all done, bulldog guy?
Just conditioning, being explosive, bringing energy off the bench and everywhere.
You like that, Coach?
Yeah, they're a yes sir coach. They'll just do whatever we ask. And Zach is, he's intelligent. He's a player that he'll have his 2-year degree when he graduates from high school. So that translates over to, can he run this? Can he do that? And he's very, very good at it. And he really worked hard on his conditioning. And so just a fun group of guys. Lyman also just this summer played some high-level games with the prospects, and watching him in the summer, it was fun to see him develop and have some good opportunities in those games. And Walker, he's started as a freshman, and so his experience and shooting ability is something that we're excited about. He brings a lot also.
Walker, what's an individual practice like? Do you get on the gun? How many shots do you get up? Like, tell me kind of behind the scenes in the off season what you were working on.
When I'm shooting by myself, I like to be on the gun and get around 500 shots, and I like to stick around 70%. Train with Reach Higher, they're a great facility, and the skill sessions that we run at practice are pretty competitive, and we definitely keep each other humble and push each other.
Zach, I have a unique perspective that I officiate as well as I sports write. And so I noticed you in the sub-varsity. I was thinking, why doesn't this kid play varsity? But towards the end of the year, you got to play a lot more and a lot more. But it seems like you're coming in for Lyman when Lyman was going. It was not too often that you were both on the floor at the same time. Is that going to change this year? You're going to be on the floor a lot with Lyman and have some more inside or high post, low post type play?
I sure hope so, because I love playing with Lyman. He's a great player, and I think we have good chemistry together. Either me or him can score each time below the basket.
Lyman, your game is obviously so dynamic, and your outside game last year, I can't remember your stats, but you were very efficient as a shooter as well. Tell me about kind of your approach game to game and balancing dominating down low versus stretching people out and that type of thing.
Going into the games, if I have like a smaller guy on me, I like to post up. If I have like a bigger dude on me, I like to go outside on the perimeter. So it kind of just depends on who I'm guarding.
Walker, last year it seemed like there's 3 or 4 guys outside that could hit at any time. And I think you're the only one coming back, but coach says you're even better, got even better players this year. Is it going to be the same? There's going to be 3 or 4 guys that can hit from the outside at any given moment?
I think we're going to have 8 or 10 guys that'll be able to shoot outside at any given moment. I think we got a good squad this year.
Coach, you've given 8 to 10 green lights already in the preseason.
Some are a little bit, a little off green, but they've put in time, and so they've earned it. And so it's fun to watch them, fight for that. We call them our team shots, and they start to understand that, hey, you're really successful here, you're really successful there, and they're buying into it.
What's it like, Walker, going on a streak at home in front of you got that student section is just crazy, and you've made 2 in a row, and you're ready for a heat check. Tell me kind of what that's like as a great shooter.
Having the student section there and everyone cheering, sometimes my adrenaline kicks in, sometimes I start overshooting it, but I think as a senior I've kind of matured and realized repetitions and everything just comes automatic with muscle memory and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
He actually asked the question I was going to ask, but
I got it.
Oh, you got one? Okay.
Coach, one thing I noticed, Isaac Lyon's not playing this year. I know, does that come with him just signing to go play baseball just a week ago at Grand Canyon?
Yeah, his focus is that, obviously. Great athlete. We're going to miss him. I mean, he's just a fun personality. But he put his focus on that through the off season and just made the choice to kind of keep doing that so he can be ready to go. And so he's a fun personality.
I see your son's on the roster. Yeah. Is he going to see some playing time?
Yeah, he's had chances at the point guard, and I think between him, Will, and Luke Hamlin, we've got 3 guys. I mean, you watch some of those college teams; they have 2 point guards on the floor. And when you have decision makers out there making the right decisions, it helps your team.
Got about 2 more minutes. Let's go back to Lyman. How's the mindset versus when you want to get to your spots outside and then take it on dribble drive, or when you want to get a 3? Like, how do you balance that inside of a 32-minute high school game? I mean, it's not that long of a game.
I mean, it's all just about making the right reads. There might be one game that you might not get to attack the basket like you want, but you're finding people outside to shoot and stuff. So it's just about the opportunities you're given.
Coach, how much have you changed the playbook? How much have you changed your mentality, not just this year, but now going in your 4th season at Snow Canyon for this group? Has there been some wrinkles you've twisted up getting ready for the season?
I've added a couple more lob plays, but they kind of do that on their own in transition. But that's our focus is Lyman's been such a good passer out of the post. He's recognizing when he's double teamed, and he really made some other guys better last year. And so, and then with Zach and Caleb bringing in some things, there's some things that we'll do similar, but also a little bit different.
Lyman, are you more comfortable in the high post or low post?
I'd say the low post. Usually at the high post, there's a lot more it's more congested, I feel like, but yeah, I like the low post more.
Sounds like the pace of play coach is going to be once again kind of. I remember that playoff game against Logan last year at Snow Canyon was just really fun to watch. It sounds like that's going to be an emphasis again this year. Got a lot of guys you can trust with the ball, sounds like.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When a team presses you like a Logan, we have some guys that can go make some plays and finish at the rim. And so that's kind of, hopefully their eyes get big when they get pressed. They say, hey, we're going to go at you and attack them first.
Guys, best of luck. Time's up. Flew by, but having fun with the Snow Canyon Warriors. And appreciate Lyman and Zach and Walker. We'll see them on the court. And Coach, always appreciate you stopping by on our Media Day coverage.
Thanks, you guys.
We'll take a break, but when we come back, we just keep going. And again, if you missed anything so far, we've already had Dixie, Pineview, and now Snow Canyon. You can go watch it a little bit later on demand, sportsradio977.com. But when we come back, we continue. Next up will be the Hurricane Tigers. Don't go away.
How does one become a trailblazer? It happens through pushing, through stretching, through shattering the norm. To blaze trails, you need to think big, break molds, and overcome any obstacles along the way. For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet. Come join us. Discover your passion, find your direction, and blaze your trail. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail.
Let's just say that repressing your curious heart is simply unacceptable. The land of discovery is calling. Rise to it.
When people come together, good things happen. They learn, they share, they grow.
To Division I.
That's why Mountain America is proud to be the official credit union of Dixie State Athletics. We both understand it takes determination, teamwork, and a focus on service to build a better tomorrow for our students and our community. Mountain America Credit Union and Dixie State Athletics, guiding you forward together.
Sunrock, Sunpro, Beehive Insurance, and Deseret Color are proud to be part of the Clyde companies in southern Utah. Sunrock and Sunpro provide construction products and services that support the constant growth of the community. Deseret Color is a master planned community offering amenities to St. George. Come visit a model home just off Exit 2. Beehive Insurance offers more than just a policy. You can trust our agents to create a custom insurance plan for your business. The Clyde family of companies is proud to support business and community growth and is a proud sponsor of Dixie State Athletics.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our 2021 High School Basketball Region 10 Media Day. Devin Dixon, Darren Cole, and Andy Thompson here on the panel. And our coverage presented by our friends at Holbrook Asphalt. Appreciate Bucks Ace Hardware, Ideal Home and Paint, our title sponsor for all the play-by-play games we'll have coming up starting really soon. And appreciate Johnson Pediatric Dentistry. Let's not wait any longer. Let's meet the Hurricane Tigers. Coach Langston and the Tigers are here. And Coach, how are you, man? Hope you had a great Turkey Day.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Let's start with kind of just a quick recap. Last year, the Tigers, ninth year for Coach. Rough year, but there's a lot more excitement about this year. Give us kind of an overall preview and take us through the offseason and tell us about your roster a little bit.
Well, so this past season, in the offseason, we played probably around 40 or 50 games. Not as many as we would like to, but a lot of improvement. Got a lot of juniors who are now seniors that are going to be really good basketball players. A lot of size this year. We want to run when the opportunity comes, get the ball out, get up the floor. And I just feel like overall we have a great combination. We've got good post play, we've got good wing players that can shoot the basketball, and we have good guards. So we're looking forward to a great year.
That's one thing I noticed this year, Coach, was over last year's team, you got size this year. And I was telling the other coaches earlier, it seemed like the teams that didn't have size last year were at the bottom, the teams that had size were at the top. How do you think the size differential between is that going to play a key difference in how you do this year?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's going to make us, we're going to be much better than we were a year ago. We're definitely looking to get the ball inside out this year. We got guys that can shoot the ball from the outside, but we also have really good post play. We go like 6'7", 6'6", 6'6", 6'6", then a small guard, 6'3". So I feel like we have good size, and not only do we have size, but we have good quickness. Kids are strong, they can get to the rim, they can get out and run the floor, and so we're very optimistic. I felt like we played a good Canyon View team that had beat up on Parowan, which is a pretty good program, a couple of nights before that, and we got the ball out, got the ball up, able to score 74 points. That doubled our output from a year ago, and shooting wise, I feel like we have guys that can shoot the ball this year, so that should be very beneficial.
In a tough year like last year, Coach, what are some of the silver linings that you take some of these guys coming back that got through that season and now have an opportunity to have obviously a much better year this year?
Well, first of all, they have a chance to watch and learn what happened last year, and they've been very dedicated. This group has always been dedicated basketball players, and nothing against the group from last year, because they're a great group of kids and they worked hard, but they weren't true basketball players. They all loved football. That was our first sport. They picked up basketball, so during the off season they participated, some of them, but not most of them. And this year we had all of them, with the exception of one of the Iola boys, to everything. And so we have good team chemistry. One downside is we did lose our point guard who started for us all last year, Kevin Bunn, that would have been a senior this year, kind of our team leader, but it's given, these are our captains, and it's kind of given them a chance to step into that role. And as a group of 6 seniors, I feel like that we're going to be very, very good this year.
Did Bunn move away or did he get hurt?
No, he tore his ACL this summer, so he's out. He won't be back this year to play for us. So we'll miss him, but next man up.
What does the point guard position look like? What's that depth like? Losing one, I mean, you got 2 or 3 guys you can still trust?
Yeah, we have a couple of guys. A guy that played quite a bit of JV ball last year that moved in from Idaho, Weston. He's a really good shooter, shoots the 3 well, can penetrate, good ball handler. And then we have Carter here that's also plays the 1 for us when Weston's not in the game. So I feel like we have good depth there. It would have been nice to have Kevin, but we have other guys that definitely can get it done for us.
Will Cruz still be one of your primary scoring options, or have you got other guys that have stepped up and
you know what, I feel like this year will be really well balanced in scoring. I mean, the first game Cruz had 19 points. Canyon View was smaller. I'm sure we'll have a lot bigger teams as we play. But no, we look as Cruz as being one of our leaders and one of our best scorers. He's also a great shot blocker. He's got great length, and we expect big things from him.
Let's meet the players. The 2 captains, like Coach just said, representing the rest of the Hurricane Tigers. We got Cruz and Carter here with us. And as team captains, I'm sure you guys take that pretty seriously. Carter, right? Big smile on your face.
Yeah.
How's the leadership role going? How's that been as an adjustment? Been good so far?
Yeah, it's been good. It's just been, I'm not used to it. I'm usually just the quiet one in the back.
So you let more of a lead by example guy?
Yeah.
You let Cruz get vocal with the guys?
Yeah.
Of course. Are you more talkative, Cruz?
A little bit.
Yeah?
I'm the loud one. I can yell. So.
Well, Coach seems kind of quiet too until heat of the moment in that huddle and he's breaking his clipboard like Jerry Sloan in the old days.
I don't know about that.
Carter, talk chemistry. Early in the season, you're one of the few teams that got a game under their belt before the Thanksgiving holiday. Big week ahead. But where do you think the chemistry is with this year's team compared to last year's team?
Well, for this year's team against last year's, so for this year's we've been playing since 6th grade, all of us seniors, besides Weston since he moved in. But once Weston came in, he fit right in with us. So I think we're going to do a lot better. And last year's team, nothing against them, but yeah, they were just all football players. That's all I got.
How many football players do you have this year, Coach? RJ, right?
We have RJ Wright, that wide receiver. Then we had Nephi that ended up having a concussion, and he had to
sit out the rest.
And then Carter Ashby, one of our little point guards, was the starting quarterback. So those 3 were football players, and also Hollis.
So you do have a handful of them.
Yeah, we have 4 or 5 of them that played, but the guys that play the majority of the time it didn't play much football. So.
Cruz, do you play other sports?
No.
Just all basketball all the
All
time?
basketball.
Is your family, like, hoops runs in the family, or no?
Not really. My older brother, he played football. He was 6'3", 325 pounds.
So are you the run of the litter then?
Basically.
Weight-wise, he is.
Definitely.
What do you weigh soaking wet?
200, 205. So.
I love it.
I'm not light.
No. What have you worked on the hardest in the offseason? Where did you spend most of your time when you're working on, say, your own?
Mostly my right hand, because I'm so left-hand dominant over the past few years. I've needed to develop my right hand, and then my perimeter shooting. It's been a big emphasis also.
Cruz, one thing I noticed about you last year is you didn't seem to be too afraid of whoever was guarding you. I mean, you took the ball to the hoop, without the fear of some of the play, and you were playing against some good players. And it seemed like you kind of stood out on your team that way. As the rest of your team developed, that you think that there'll be more players like that this year?
Yeah, I know Carter. He'll go through anyone. Even if he gets a charge, he'll still go through anyone. He's aggressive, so. And then Colton, just we're all like aggressive like that. So.
How much is style of play, do you think, going to be affected with the new guys, the length, as alluded to, a bunch of size this year, inside out? Tell me about how you guys see kind of the pace and that type of thing going this year.
I think we'll be more of a fast-paced team. Like last year, we wanted to run, but we never did. Bubba, we had players that would always complain about it, but this year we're going to get up the court, and I think that with the inside out, I think it'll just be hard to guard because when you try to stop me, then we have shooters like Nathan and Weston that'll just be lights out, so I think it'll be good.
Coach, are you doing things differently, style-wise, philosophy-wise, play-calling-wise with this group because they played together? I mean, you've had, when your sons were there, you had that group all the way up through, and now it sounds like these guys have kind of came up all the way through together for the most part.
Yeah, this would be probably our most dedicated group as far as playing together for, since they were small. They definitely have good chemistry. We definitely want to run and get some easy baskets. Last year, baskets were hard to come by. And like I said, we got big guys that can run the floor as well as small guys. And then our inside-outside game should be really well. We got some guys that are really nice shooters from the outside. And, I think we had 12 or 13 old boards against Canyon View. That's definitely a point of emphasis is getting on the old boards, getting themselves extra shots, and then taking care of the basketball on offense, of course.
I know it's a team game, Carter, but any individual goals for you? I mean, want to average a certain amount of rebounds a game or anything like that for the season?
Yeah, mine's just mainly for defense and rebounding. This season I want to average for offensive rebounds is probably 6 or 7, and then defense is like up at 10, 12.
You're going to be putting up Dennis Rodman-like numbers, averaging like 16 to 18 rebounds a game.
I like rebounding a lot.
Coach, you like to hear that?
I like that.
That's a good goal.
If he can raise 18 rebounds a game, we'll never take him off the floor. Carter's definitely known for our defense. He draws the best player from every team, whether they're big, small, quick. Carter's the one that we ask to guard those kids. So if Carter can do a good job for us defensively on their best players, that's definitely going to be a benefit for us. So he's very, very strong-minded and has a great will defensively to stop other people.
Other than these two guys, who else are going to be some team leaders this year on your varsity?
All of my seniors basically are great team leaders. All of them are vocal. All of them work together. Junior-wise, we have Nephi, Iola, and then we have R.J. Wright those two have played quite a bit in our first game. We don't have a lot of varsity experience, but that's one reason that we play a lot of games is, in the summer is to develop that chemistry. Unfortunately, because of the RPI rankings, every game counts now. It's not like we're getting ready for Region 10. We're getting ready for the game on Wednesday. We need to beat Spanish Fork Wednesday and then move on to the following week. Because every game matters. So I like our kids. I like our leadership. Every one of them are willing to step up. They're all willing to accept their roles. I mean, everybody can't shoot the ball. We're not asking everyone to shoot the ball. There are certain guys that can shoot inside out. So I just feel like we have a good chemistry. We got a sophomore, Owen, that started as a freshman last year for us, played quite a few games. He's grown. He's fast. And he's a good outside shooter also. So I like what we have. Cruz is another guy that he's great inside, but can also shoot the three. So I like those looks for our guys.
When you look out at Region 10 this year coming back, Coach, it seems like most people's opinion is there might be a little bit more parity instead of having a few teams up top and some teams down below. It seems like everybody will hopefully be able to compete, every game. Do you kind of see that this year kind of being a change from
Yeah,
last year?
absolutely. I think that there's not as many big men in Region 10 this year as there has been in the past.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more parity as far as the teams that play each other. I mean, we're always next man up. Next team up is the best team in Region 10, and so I feel like that the region's open this year. Those that will perform well and take care of the ball will be successful. So I definitely like our chances.
Cruz, is there a player in the region that plays on a different team than yours that you look forward to battling against? And Carter, same question for you after Cruz.
Not necessarily a single player. I'm just excited to get out there and compete with the other guys and show them what I got.
Got any buddies from another school, Carter, that you just can't wait to go toe-to-toe with?
Not really. I'm just looking forward to play defense against their best player. That's all I really look forward to.
Who cares who he is? Just
That's just what I like to do.
Coach, in all your years playing at Hurricane, what's the biggest difference between playing in Tiger's Den at home versus away? Like, is there something that okay, we're going to shoot X, more threes are going to go in, or our energy is going to be a little bit better at home? Like, there's all this emphasis on home court advantage. What's that mean for you guys?
I think that home court advantage is nice because you get the fans involved, and I think that helps to motivate the kids to play harder. But anymore, I mean, most of our preseason is tournaments that we play away from Hurricane. Most of the region teams are that way. Go play this tournament. You'll have a couple of preseason region games, and then you have 4 or 5 region games at home. But I mean, it's definitely nice to be home when it counts at the end of the year, and you get your playoff games to play on your home court. But other than that, I really don't mind playing away. That puts the pressure on the team that you're playing that they needs to keep home court advantage, and so I'm okay with traveling. We do a lot of it. So that's not a big thing to me, really.
You start you've been good in that Arizona tournament for several years now. Is that something the kids enjoy to go travel like that?
Yeah, it's awesome. People think it's not great competition, but there's some great schools out there. A couple of years ago, we went out there and beat a Valley Christian team out of Phoenix, a private school, and we beat Page the second day of that tournament. Those two teams went on to have 20-plus win seasons. I think the Christian Valley, they only lost like 1 or 2 games all year, and their RPI was really high because of that. Ended up getting a bye in the first round, the second round playoff game at home, which was able to win. And so there's some good teams there. I mean, it's fun to go there. They take you on some different tours and different things like that, and they treat us really nice. And it's a nice weekend for us to get away as a basketball team and spend a few days together.
Cruz, I asked Carter individual goals, but I didn't ask you. I'm just curious, like, is there some numbers that you've got, on your bedroom wall or something at home, like you want to accomplish this year?
I don't have anything on my bedroom wall, but I really like to average 20, which is a big goal, but I think I can get there. And 10 rebounds, a double-double would be.
That'd be huge.
Yeah.
Coach won't take you off the floor.
No.
You stay out of foul trouble at least, and take yourself out of the game.
That's just Carter.
How much of the offense runs through Cruz, Coach? If you're going to put up numbers like that, a good portion of it, he's got to get some touches.
Yeah, we definitely we want to run and get easy baskets, but if not, a lot of our offense is a lot of pick and roll. So we have a lot of post play, a lot of movement, a lot of ball reversals, high-low looks into our post guys. And that being said, if they're being double and triple teamed down low, then we definitely want them to kick the ball back out. But Cruz could definitely be a big scorer for us. He's really worked on his right hand in the offseason. Last year, he always wanted to go left, and teams really overplayed him. But this year, if they overplay him to his left, he's definitely going to go right, which is a benefit for us as a program.
Carter, Cruz, thanks for coming by, representing your teammates. Coach, always good to see you. And good luck out in Page this weekend. And we'll see you at the Coach Walk Classic the following week as well. Hurricane Tigers. And we got to keep moving. Quick break, but when we come back, it'll be Desert Hills joining us next as our Media Day coverage continues.
How does one become a trailblazer? It happens through pushing, through stretching, through shattering the norm. For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow and has become the fastest growing, most affordable, and highest ranked institution in the state. With 200 academic programs, small class sizes, and active learning education, Come see why Dixie State was voted one of the best colleges in the West.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Where do you find the titans of classical music in St. George? Classical music on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM. Where do you find the legends of jazz? Evenings on Radio St. George, 100.3 FM.
There is a place where the sun doesn't hide in the winter, where the greens stay green and the crimson canyons still glow. There is a place where dimples determine destiny, and a tiny wooden tee holds the outcome in the balance. There is a place where we drive for show, putt for dough, and settle the score with another round. There is a place.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Welcome back, everybody. Region 10 Basketball Media Day. Yes, basketball season is here. Some teams have already played games. Some teams fire up this week. And hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And we rolled right along. Desert Hills Thunder joining us now on set. We've got Coach Allred in his second-year head coach of the Thunder. And representing the rest of the team, we've got Austin Turnbow, Boston Holbrook, Ethan Bateman, and Lincoln Holmes. But, Coach, let's start with you. You guys were 21-5 last year. Got to the state title, lost that heartbreaker there. And kind of bring us up to speed since then and give us an overall preview and outlook for the team this year.
Well, thanks for allowing us to be here, and thanks for doing this. But so last year we had a big group of seniors. We had 8 seniors. So we graduated a lot of varsity minutes last year, and Lincoln and Chomp Jones were 2 of the underclassmen that saw some varsity time last year. And Chomp, unfortunately, tore his ACL in the summer, so we're hopefully going to be able to get him back a little bit later in the season, but we'll have to just see how his rehab goes. But so the exciting part about our team this year is that we've got a lot of young guys and guys that were juniors last year that are looking for their opportunity to make a name for themselves, and they spent the entire year last year practicing against one of the best teams in the state. And so, they've got, although they don't have actual varsity on-court experience, they have experience going against really good players day in and day out and competing. And so it'll be exciting to see what they accomplish this year and who kind of rises to the occasion and who provides that leadership for us.
How'd you guys do in the summer? Did you get in a lot of tournaments, play a lot of games, do well?
We tried to play as much as we could, and it was kind of hit and miss. We have quite a few boys that play football, and so it's always kind of an interesting mix and trying to get them involved as you go throughout the summer. But we were able to do enough to be able to kind of define some roles and to start building an identity for ourselves. And so we'll just have to pick up from where we left off and continue to build as we go throughout the season.
Coach, this year's roster lot smaller than last year? Or is there some young big guys that we haven't seen that is going to fill the place of Keegan and the McMillan boy, Nate, that can handle the big guys in the region this year? Is there you have guys like that?
Well, Ethan and Eric Olson will be two of our big men that compete for us, and they both kind of have contrasting games a little bit. As you know from football season, Eric is a big, strong bruiser of an athlete, and so him and Ethan will be able to kind of offset each other and be able to do some different things with different skill sets. But as you look down the line here, Lincoln and Austin both, football, basketball guys, very well put together. Boston's basketball only, but Boston's also strong. So our guards are going to be able to defend bigs, and so I'm not terribly worried about that. We're going to have to be fundamental with boxing out, rebounding, but we'll just have to try to play to our strengths and play a little bit smaller than what we were last year.
Obviously, you talk about the seniors that you miss, some great scorers on that team. How do you kind of forecast, Coach, the shots kind of being spread out amongst these new guys? And I guess that would kind of develop organically over time, but as of now, kind of how do you kind of see that happening?
Well, hopefully, we'll continue to do what we did throughout the summer and then also the last couple weeks in practice. But we've been good about sharing the ball, executing, being able to get quality shots. Lincoln's a great scorer, and people are going to find that out, and they know that from last season as well. And so, he'll get his fair share of shots. But we've also got other guys that are going to be able to, fill the roles that we need them to offensively, and be able to help create shots for others or be able to hit down those open shots. So,
one thing I noticed about Austin's play in sub-varsity is he's got the team 4 or 5 extra possessions every game on his rebounding, especially at the free throw line.
He's one of those guys that can literally say, 6'1", whatever, but plays like he's 6'6", and he's kind of like running into a block wall. So he can create space, and he's gonna, because of his motor and the way he plays and his competitiveness, he gets to a lot of loose balls. He's going to beat anybody to a 50-50 ball, and nobody's going to take it away from him, with his strength and athleticism. So he'll get us a lot of extra possessions as we go throughout the season.
Coach, are these your captains? Have you voted on it yet, or
they are? Yeah.
Do you like to just sign those, or do you let the team vote, or how do you do it?
We let the team vote, and it's always interesting from year to year to see the votes come in. And this year it was pretty unanimous across the board that these 4 had the most votes and the most, the respect from the teammates on their leadership and what they do on and off the floor. So I think they did a great job in selecting captains for us.
Let's meet those captains with Coach Allred here. Again, we got Lincoln Holmes, Austin Turnbow, Boston Holbrook, and then down there, Mr. Bateman. We'll get to you, Mr. Bateman, but hold on, let's start with you, Link. Link, you played a lot with Austin, you played a lot with Eric. Can you carry over that chemistry you guys developed in football to basketball?
Oh yeah, it's just practice together, We spend a lot of time together. I mean, I'm with Austin every day of the year, so it's like just playing every day, so yeah.
Where does your first love fall? Is it hoops or is it football? Because you're really good at both.
It started with football, and then it started, went to basketball towards like the freshman, sophomore year. So now it's basketball, for sure.
Austin, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Devin? Haven't been here before.
Yeah, this is like, how many times have you been on set?
This is like 8th time at least.
Yeah.
Literally.
I know the disappointment of football season, that's in the rearview mirror. How do you put all your energy into basketball now? I mean, it sounds like you're already running through brick walls for Coach.
That's awesome. It's finally somewhere to put my head, you know what I'm saying? Like, put it in another place, and I'm loving basketball. Like, I didn't play my sophomore year, and then last year I barely made the team, and then fell in love with it, And it's been awesome. I look forward to basketball season. Coach Allred's awesome coach. Super excited.
Let's bring in Boston Holbrook. What's up?
I'm doing good.
I know you're all basketball business all the time, man. How's the game?
It's good. Yeah, we're working hard every day. We're in the gym. Yeah.
What have you been working on specifically? You're gonna have a huge role in varsity. You don't have a lot of varsity experience, but what have you been? And you're coming off an injury last year too.
Yeah, I had a knee injury, but me and my trainer, Cade Cowden, we've just been working to get that athleticism back. So that's been my main focus is the athleticism, and then now it's the three-point shooting. So we can take some pressure off Lincoln. We can, get some shots around the arc.
Ethan, what's going on, man? Talk to me about the bigs in region. Like you got Eric, you got a wingman, but you got Lyman Simmons at Snow Canyon, you got Kean Webb at Dixie. There's some monsters out there, and you're gonna have to stay out of foul trouble and shut them down a little bit.
It's definitely, especially graduating Keegan last year and having a big role to fill. It's it's intimidating, but it's I've got work to do, and I've got that's my part of the team. That's what I'm gonna go do.
How much did it help you going against him and Preston Vandermeide and some of those bigs you had last year to get ready for this year?
They're extremely talented, so to be able to play against them like that definitely helped me become a better player, better post.
Austin, who's the jack of all trades? Who's the Justin Judkins on this year's team, man? Juddy did a little bit of everything for you guys last year.
Everyone has a different role on the team, and everyone fulfills the roles, which I love about our team. Literally, my job is to rebound, and I need to be able to hit open threes. Lincoln, score whenever you can. Boss, take care of the ball, score. You gotta lock down those bigs. So jack of all. Juddy was a special kid. I don't know if anyone's jack of all trades on this team.
I'm just curious. Playing behind Landick a little bit, did that help you at all, Link? Because I just saw him drop 24 and Eastern Washington beat WSU for the first time in 20 years the other night. Is that going to be pretty helpful this year?
Yeah, I talked to him a lot. I mean, we were close during the season last year. I mean, practices were intense, going against the best. So I think, yeah, it'll help.
In that same kind of vein, Lincoln, playing with your brother, playing with Peyton, how tough he was and how hard he played, I'm sure that has rubbed off on you. And we saw it last year with how you played as well, right?
Yeah, we've always been tough on each other. So I mean, it was an experience I'll never forget playing with him as a sophomore. So
yeah, it was awesome.
Now Mason's little brother hits a couple of game-winning shots on his team last year. Are we going to see some of him on varsity, or is he mainly right now with the JV?
We'll see. He's got to continue to improve and show some toughness on the defensive end, but he's starting to show little glimpses of older brother, and he's a little bit like Mason in that he's just gonna find a way to make a play and hit some shots, and so he's continuing to improve. How's
Landon's game over the summer? How's T-Money's game been over the summer?
They've done well. And that's as we go throughout the beginning of the season. We've got 11 or 12 guys that'll see some time and get some opportunities to prove themselves. And then obviously as we get closer to region, we'll have to kind of trim that down a little bit and get a true rotation. But for now, it'll be interesting to kind of see who rises to the occasion, who fulfills the roles that we need filled and can get it done especially on the defensive end.
Now, one of those guys might be Eli Allred, your nephew, right? I mean, is he fit into that? Get a chance early and see how he does, because he can really shoot it.
He can. He's at the beginning of last summer, it was a little bit. It's always to go from your freshman year to JV or even varsity basketball is a huge leap, and so there's always a huge, big learning curve there. And he did a good job of, over the course of the summer, trying to focus in on the defensive end and make sure he can, defend the other team's better players. And, I noticed in practice he spends a lot of time trying to go up against Lincoln. And so that's just good preparation for the season. And he can shoot it, and he's athletic. He's got good bounce. So we'll see if he can find his way into the rotation.
Has Austin been fouling every day in practice?
No, Austin's just, I
thought he might try to tackle somebody.
No, Austin's just one of those guys where, in fact, going back to last season, so Coach Holbrook last year was like, yeah, I love this kid. We got to keep him. And that first practice, I'm looking at, Treg going, what? What are you talking about? Well, let me tell you what, the guy that improved the most from the beginning of the season to the end of the season was Austin. And it was kind of remarkable. And it just goes to show how hard or how far you can go with just effort and being a great competitor. And, you know, so the progress that he made during last season was incredible. And then even from the end of last season to now, it's just night and day. So pretty impressive.
Austin, I was going to ask, it's rare that like the MVP football player of the region is like, I don't know if humble's the right word, but willing to go be kind of a role player. They're usually like, if I'm not going to be the star, I'm not going to play. So I think a lot of people think it's really cool that you've decided to put. So tell me about that decision to be, I mean, was it hard to say, you know what, I just finished football and being Mr. Everything to playing basketball?
I never thought about it like that, if we're being honest. I just, like, since last year, I remember coming on this team and making the team was already big, and then wanting to start on JV was a big thing for me. And then all I had to do was find a role on the team to get in the position to be successful. And so I've never thought about it like that, especially last year having Link, Chomp, and then Boss. Before Boss went down, you had all shooters. Like, I had no point to shoot, you know what I'm saying? Like, they would knock down anywhere. So my role was to go get that ball and give them another chance to hit another three. And so something I've accepted, and I love rebounding. Like, it's something I enjoy, find love in the game doing it. So
kind of like going and getting an interception or going and catching.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's good at that.
That makes sense. Real quick, we got about 60 seconds. Give me kind of a goal for you and the team, each of you.
I definitely, you know, we got a lot of work to do to fill in the shoes of that team last year and to be able to be as successful as they were. And so we're just, you know, spending time in the gym together, working on chemistry and becoming better.
Boss, a certain goal, team goal, individual goal?
Team goal of ours, we got one goal in mind, and it's a state championship. You know, that's what we think about every day in practice. Coach brings the energy, so we take it, and that's our focus, state championship.
Link?
State championship, baby.
All right,
yes, sir.
We'll see if Coach Allred and the Thunder can take state. They were in that title game last year, and we know how that one went out as Cedar edged them up in Richfield. Guys, best of luck, safe season, good to see you. Coach, thanks for bringing the guys by. And we got to take a break. We continue our Media Day coverage. When we come back, Crimson Cliffs Mustangs join us next.
Rule the playground. Toyota, let's go places.
Football is a game of life, and it brings a community together. White, black, boys, girls.
Flag, tackle. Football can revive communities.
Anybody can play.
That family value, that brotherhood is everything.
It's really what all it's about, is just having a good time and being able to play.
There's never been play.
State Athletic.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
There is a place where the desert comes alive, where rain breaks forth from solid stone and gardens spring from blistered rock. There is a place with enough color to make a rainbow jealous, where boulders are bigger than buildings and cliffs are higher than clouds. There is a place that will straighten your step, tighten your grip, widen your eyes, and open your jaw. There is a place.
Welcome back, CEC TV Studios, Jennings Building, Campus Dixie State University. Devin Dixon, Darren Cole, Andy Thompson hanging out here on our Media Day panel. And again, just want to remind you, if you're tuning in on radio and you missed anything today, it's all on demand. You can go watch any of your favorite teams' Media Day coverage. SportsRadio977.com is streaming there live if you want to go check it out, especially if you're a Crimson Cliffs fan, because the Mustang gang is in the building here. Coach Winters, he's got Hudson Hawes, Jackson McCone, and Travis Matthews. We'll get to the players in just a second, but Coach, let's start with you, and let's talk a little bit about, coming off a 19-5 season last year, second in region, 10-4. I think we're tied second in region. Yep. And, of course, lost to Cedar, who ended up winning the state title in the quarterfinals by a measly 2 points. And let's get up to speed, talk about the offseason, and tell us a little bit about how the team's going to be different this year and an overall preview for your team.
Yeah, a good offseason for us. Obviously didn't end last year the way we wanted to. So we lost a few seniors that were, big players for us the first 2 years of our program. And so for us, it was finding who's going to be the next guys to lead our program, and we got three of them here. Hudson, Jackson, and Travis all had really good spring and summer, and then we've got a few other guys. Phoenix McWillis, Jordan Eaton, Houston Johnson, Bridger Jones, Ty Lukengay, Jaden Jensen. So we've got quite a few seniors on the team. We'll have some juniors that step up, and then there could be a few sophomores and possibly even a freshman that make their way onto the floor this year for us.
One guy that won't make it on the floor, you got to tell everybody a little bit about backstory, is Brock Felder moved away. That's a huge loss. He was an integral part of your team.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the Mustangs, but we've lost a player every year. Brock, it sucks losing a player like Brock who just brings the athleticism and the length. But we support him. We'll be Parowan Rams fans, this year as his family decided to move up there. And we've already had guys as we've begun practice that have filled that void well with Jackson and Houston. Will kind of be our main bigs that are going to try to slow down Lyman and a few of the other bigs in the region.
You got a lot coming back. You got some experience coming back. Some teams lost. Desert Hills lost 8 seniors. You guys got a lot more guys that had significant varsity minutes. How does that help you fit into the equation in what we know is always a tough region?
I think it's huge for us. You look at Hudson last year had a really good year for us. Jordan had a good year for us. Travis played a lot of minutes for us. So we shouldn't be shell shocked at all. We should be able to just move right into the season, get into these games, and there shouldn't be too much that catches us off guard or surprises us, because a lot of these guys have already been in the situations that we'll face, whether it's a tight game, down one, have to score, have to get a stop, whatever it is. These guys have been there before.
Last year Brock had a good rapport with Jordan in the middle, good high post, low post, and has Jordan's game changed at all with what you said? People stepped in for Brock. Is he basically at the same rapport with the people stepping up, or?
Yeah, these guys have played a lot of ball together. Whether it was the spring and summer, even before that, freshman, sophomore, JV, whatever it is. Our chemistry is still a work in progress, but I think it's where it could be expected to be right now, and I don't think losing Brock has affected anybody too much. Jackson's a great post player, really good footwork, can score in the post. He can stretch the floor really well. If he's a trailer or picking and popping, and then he's a solid passer as well. So, as much as we'd like Brock to be here, I think we'll be just fine without him.
Coach, what's kind of the state of the program? I think a lot of people might be surprised at how competitive you guys were in the thick of everything already last year, and obviously have super high expectations this year, but still a new program. Do you even think of you guys new anymore based on how well you've done?
I mean, I think we've kind of normalized our program. You know, we have the guys that have been in our program. You know, you look at Travis and Jackson, they were on the first freshman team, you know, at Crimson Middle School before the high school was even there.
Yeah.
So, you know, these guys are, you know, the oldest players in our program, and so we feel like we're right there, and, you know, we expect to compete every night, you know, not only in region, but also, you know, through our preseason schedule as well.
Coach, the mindset the last couple of years is outshoot them, outpace them, just try to get as many shots, good shots, as quickly as you can. Has that changed at all, or is that still kind of your mantra?
No, we're all about good shots. We have plenty of guys that can get shots. I think one of our biggest challenges is going to be, is it the shot we want? You know, we've got plenty of guys that can create not only their own shot, but for others. And so, you know, we've got plenty of guys that if they're standing wide open, the majority of the time they're going to knock it down. So we want to play fast. We've put in a few new things this spring and summer to, you know, help us with our transition offense. And then we're hoping, you know, that whatever the first good shot that comes about is, we knock it down and we make the most of it.
I'm just curious, you know, you played, you know, Idaho, Dixie State, had a great playing career. I still see you in the record books in the Trailblazer, you know, for rebounds and
tell these guys
a bunch of big stats, right? And then you go up north and coach, and then you come back with Coach Judkins, and then you take this Crimson job. What's helped you the most as far as your coaching philosophy and style being back and forth between the college and the high school level?
You know, for me, I think it's not being just married to one concept or one thing. And these guys want to play fast. They want to get good shots up. So it's playing to these guys' strengths. And if I really thought that slowing the ball down and putting two bigs on the block and back screen and whatever it is would be our best option, we would definitely go that way. But these guys, they want to get up in pressure. They want to play in transition. They want to come off and create. And so that's what we're doing. And it's a fun style to coach. It's a fun style to watch. And, you know, these guys embrace it pretty well and are pretty good at it.
All right, we'll circle back to Coach Winters for a few more questions, but let's meet the guys again, Hudson, Jackson, and Travis. And Hudson, we'll start with you. Off-season, I always like to kind of find out. You're going to be one of the gunners, one of the big scorers for Coach. You know, averaged over 12 a game last year. What have you been working on shot-wise? And take me through kind of an individual workout. Like, you get up 500, 1,000 shots on the gun. What's that like?
A lot of the times, me and my brother, we'll just go play one-on-one, and then we'll shoot around. And then I'll just go shoot on the gun, like one dribble pull-ups.
What's the percentage number you're looking for when you get on the gun?
Around 50 to 60.
It's interesting because your older brother played at Dixie, great player.
Mm-hmm.
Trav's older brother played at D Hills, and now you guys are Mustangs, making your own brand, doing your own thing.
Yeah.
This summer, what was some of the fun tournaments you guys played in, and how did you guys fare?
We played in a Vegas tournament, I remember, and we played Bishop Gorman.
Good opponent?
Yeah, they were good, but it was fun.
Did you guys hang, Coach?
Yeah, for about the first minute.
Yeah. Let's bring in Jackson. Jackson, talk about your role in this team. You're one of the leaders on this team now. Coach said you've been in the program for 4 years now, or going into your fourth year. And where's the excitement level for you for the season?
I'm very excited for the season to be able to be one of the older players to help the younger players come in and improve. And I know, like, I was one of the younger people the last few years to try and fight for those varsity minutes, so I'm going to try and help those people get their chance too.
And your brother played for Desert Hills too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is he still playing anymore?
No, he retired.
But he went up in the NWAC and played up in Washington, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I forgot. All three of these guys had older brothers play in Region 10. What's up, Trav?
What's up?
How's your game different from your brother?
Not much different. I just try to get to the hole when I can, and I'll shoot occasionally, but other than that, it's not much different than Quincy.
Did you guys get a little Thanksgiving game of horse in after you ate some turkey?
Yeah.
Who won?
Quincy.
You didn't have to admit that. He's honest. Did he give you a fair shot? Was he shooting it off the roof or something?
No.
One-on-one, though, you got him, right?
Yeah.
You know, you got some minutes last year off the bench, and it was about three 3 points a game, but you rebound it well, you distributed it well with the minutes you got. How do you take that up a notch?
I think I just got to do the same thing. I got to go to the offensive boards better. I got to work on that, and just drive and kick and stuff like that.
When you guys get a defensive rebound, can anyone start the break, or is there a certain guy you get the ball to start the break?
I think any of us can start the break, and coach always says whoever gets the rebound, just take it 2 dribbles and then pass up the court to get the fast break going.
How's the depth like this go, aside from kind of the guys you brought here, as far as kind of the scoring load and stuff like that?
It's going to be really good. I mean, we head up to Spanish Fork tomorrow for our first game, and trying to identify our 8-man rotation, 9-man rotation to start has been really difficult, especially as these guys have battled in practice. So I think depth is going to be one of our advantages. It may not necessarily manifest itself through guys that just come in and cast and can score, but it's going to be guys that create shots for other people, play good defense, rebound, and we do have scoring. I'm not worried about the lack of points that we're going to score, but we are a deep team with some experience, and so it should provide us with some consistency. When guys do get into foul trouble or injuries happen or whatever it may be, we can go pretty deep into our bench.
I'm just curious, Hudson, how did some of the seniors that graduated, how did they rub off on you or help you or leave a good example for you and your teammates that are, coming back for this season?
They were training cool, were just good teammates at practice all the time, and they never wanted to lose or anything. They were just, I don't know. Yeah.
Last year, you guys, there was really no one that averaged 25 a game. There's several that averaged more than, between the 10 and 16 points a game. And really, it seemed like there wasn't even a go-to guy at the end of the game if you needed a shot, because so many different guys took last-second shots or when guys needed a bucket. Is that the same this year? You got 3 or 4 guys that you feel comfortable taking that last-second shot?
Yeah.
Hudson?
Yeah. I'm confident a lot of guys on our team could hit a game winner.
Are you more confident in yourself or in Travis? Or in Marcus? I'm just kidding.
Coach, let's talk schedule a little bit here. You guys only have 5 games before your first region game, is that right?
Yeah, that's just kind of the way the schedule worked out. We're starting tomorrow. We have 10 games between now and the 18th, so it's going to be a lot of games, which I know these guys are looking forward to. We play 4 this week. We head up to Spanish Fork, and then we've got 3 at home this weekend against Green Canyon, Provo, and Cypress, which will all be really good. It's actually really nice because Spanish Fork's really our only road game until region. The next 3 weekends we're playing at Crimson, so we get a lot of home games. We're hosting a little event the 10th and 11th, and when the coach walk, we're able to play all of our games over at Crimson against Maple Mountain, Logan, and Bountiful. So preseason is going to be really good, and right before that coach walk, we play Desert Hill, so big rivalry game to start off region. I don't like playing it before Christmas. I wish it was after, but it's just the way the schedule worked out, and we'll be ready for them.
Lots of gassers. You feel like the team's as good a condition as they need to be for the tempo you want?
We're getting there. Problem is, all our conditioning is based on how well they shoot free throws at the end of practice, and luckily for them, they've shot free throws pretty well. But we do play a lot in practice. We try to get 5 on 5 in every day. So we're getting up and down the court, and I feel like our depth will help with that as well. But we'll find out tomorrow how good a shape we're really in.
Talk a little bit about all of you have brothers that play. Do they still give you pointers on your games, or especially, I know Jake and Quincy were actually rivals, when they played, and I remember Marcus played quite a bit of RC too. Do they give you pointers still, or are you guys above the level that they played at?
No, they think their region was a lot better than ours is. So I hear that a lot.
What about you, Travis?
Quincy gives me pointers all the time, but
whether you want it or not?
Yeah.
Marcus? Or excuse me, Jackson. I'm
That's
thinking
okay.
of Marcus.
He gives me a lot of advice on shooting because he was a really good shooter in high school. So just gives me a bunch of pointers on that.
Good stuff. Crimson Cliffs Mustangs firing up their season. Like Coach said, they got a busy schedule between now and Christmas, and that one big region game with Desert Hills. Coach, thanks for bringing the guys in. Best of luck. Have a safe season.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, we'll take a timeout. One more team when we finish up. And again, it's the Cedar Reds, the defending state champs. They'll join us next in our 2021 High School Basketball Media Day coverage.
How does one become a trailblazer? It happens through pushing, through stretching, through shattering the norm. To blaze trails, you need to think big, break molds, and overcome any obstacles along the way. For over a century, Dixie State University has been shaping the trailblazers of tomorrow by providing a culture of active learning, active life. With a paradigm of real-world experience, mixed with cutting-edge technologies and rich traditions, we provide one of the most affordable educations in the West, set against the most stunning backdrop on the planet. Come join us. Discover your passion, find your direction, and blaze your trail. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path, and leave a trail.
Let's just say that repressing your curious heart is simply unacceptable. The land of discovery is calling. Rise to it.
When people come together, good things happen. They learn, they share, they grow.
To Division I.
That's why Mountain America is proud to be the official credit union of Dixie State Athletics. We both understand it takes determination, teamwork, and a focus on service to build a better tomorrow for our students and our community. Mountain America Credit Union and Dixie State Athletics, guiding you forward together.
Sunrock, Sunpro, Beehive Insurance, and Deseret Color are proud to be part of the Clyde companies in southern Utah. Sunrock and Sunpro provide construction products and services that support the constant growth of the community. Deseret Color is a master-planned community offering amenities to St. George. Come visit a model home just off Exit 2. Beehive Insurance offers more than just a policy. You can trust our agents to create a custom insurance plan for your business. The Clyde family of companies is proud to support business and community growth and is a proud sponsor of Dixie State Athletics.
And we're back. Thanks for tuning in, 97.7 ESPN or on the live stream. We're in the CEC TV studios, Jennings Building on campus Dixie State University. Devin Dixon, Darren Cole, Andy Thompson hanging out with you today. We gave Andy Griffin a little vacation time, well deserved, but we're glad to be here. And we're down to our final team. But a reminder, if you missed anything, you can go watch it on demand on the CEC TV YouTube page, or you can just link to it on sportsradio977.com if you missed any of your favorite teams already joining us earlier today. But not to be done the best last year. The champs are in the building, Coach Esplin and Cedar. And Coach, I know it's probably been kind of a whirlwind. It seems probably just like yesterday, or maybe it seems a long time ago, but congratulations on the title again, and talk to us about trying to repeat and give us an overall preview. I know you lost a lot of seniors, but you got a lot of core guys coming back.
It's true. It has been a whirlwind. It was a great run. It was enjoyable. It was fun. Now I guess it's time to get started again, and core group, these are the three that we're looking at to probably carry most of our scoring. They're the senior leaders. Zab's returning, the only returning starter, but Ty and Aaron over there have played some minutes last year for us, and I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. I think there is. Everybody's talked about parity throughout the region. I think there's more of that. I think there's more of that in 3A, but I think it'll be fun. Wish there were more teams.
How?
in
Yeah,
4A.
that's one thing that a lot of people wish, us included, that it's only 13 teams in all of 4A, and hopefully after the 2 years is over, we'll revisit and it'll get changed. But at the same time, tell us about some of the newcomers, some of the guys that have been playing JV, maybe even sophomore, and now they're going to get some varsity minutes because you're going to have some of those guys.
We're going to have a lot of them. We got a few seniors that are there. We got Bridger Coates, Hayden Kornberg, Braden France, who we're looking at to play some minutes for us. We got 3 juniors that we're looking at right now that are going to make up either a front line for get minutes for us or the guard line. So it's going to be a interesting mix and match to start the year off. And, you know, with the RPI the way it is, it's, you really don't have the preseason to figure out what you're going to do.
Coach, sometimes we're so eager to just move on to the next game, the next season. We don't dwell on. I want to just talk to you more about, you're with the girls team, you won a title, you decided to make a change, you win it. I mean, tell me about, just gloat a little bit if you want to, I guess.
I don't know if it's gloating. I think it's just really good timing on my part. Coach Beck came along. I coached a year with him. Had an opportunity to go coach with Coach Nelson, who I'd coached with for 18 years. And he says, hey, why don't you come over? And I said, okay, went over. And those were a great group of girls. You know what you have. We go win the one, which was really fun at home. Got a ride on the fire truck, which is, I thought, man, this is stupid. Why are we doing it? It's one of the coolest things I've done. So, and then we turn around the next year and I have an opportunity. They come and say, hey, would you like to go back and coach the boys? And I thought, because we were returning all 5 starters from that team the year before, actually the top 7 girls. And I looked at it and I thought, you know what? I'll take the chance. I knew what we had. We had some really good kids coming. And it took a couple of years to get it going. And towards the end of the year, I think, as far as I've been to a lot of state tournaments, and as far as every game at the state tournament last year, they were all good.
Yeah.
I mean, from the quarterfinals down, I think there was only one real blowout. Everything else was close to the last 4 or 5 minutes. It was great. I can't say enough about these guys that hung on. If we're talking state tournaments, I'm returning the state tournament MVP, and I think should have been the co-state tournament MVP was Ty Harrison.
Yeah.
And Aaron got some minutes in a game because of foul trouble that were big minutes, and people don't see that, but coaches do.
Even more than the state championship, which was a great game, was the earlier game you had with Desert Hills. And you had some guys out with COVID, but the triple overtime game where I think both of you scored, 101 to 100?
It is.
Instant classic. Did you, I know you had guys missing, but was there anything from that game that you took? Because it was really a different game as far as, it was more defensive in the
state tournament. We changed up defensively in the back half of region. We had some good guys, but we were longer than most teams. We weren't quite as quick, so we couldn't keep them in front of us. And we said, we got to do something different. We sat down as a coaching staff and said, hey, what can we do? Kicked some thoughts around, and we started switching everything. We switched everybody and allowed us to keep teams in front of us. And we went from giving up around 70 to 75 to about 60. And that was huge for us.
What do those state championship rings look like? Anybody got one on today?
No, we don't got it.
We talked about it on the way down. They said, we should have brought them.
Should have brought them, yeah. Should have brought them. Zab, where's yours at? You got it locked up in a safe somewhere?
I just got it in my room all
this
nice.
This is the perfect occasion to break that bad boy out.
I'll show you mine. I'll try to get one this year, and then I'll bring you that one.
Deal.
I'll bring you both.
Deal. Well, let's talk with the players. Let's bring in Zab. I mean, gosh, you've been around with the team now for years and years and years. High-level player. I think you're Mr. Excitement in the region, right? Like raising the roof every time you get a big play. Do you feed off of the own energy that you create?
I would say so. I'd say like every single game, like I kind of talk a lot. If you guys don't notice that, but it's just fun for me. I like being out there and feeding off my own teammates, the fans, and coach, and just everything. And if we don't have that, I feel like it's not fun. So I try to make the game better for me and everyone else.
Ty, is he just like that in practice? Like what we see out on region nights, on Friday nights? Is he like that in practice?
Oh yeah, he's always getting us going, making sure we're focused in, ready to go.
Well, you obviously got a big role this year. You had a big role last year. That had been fun for you, but now you're a little more pressure on you this year in some regards. What have you been doing in the offseason to get ready to handle that pressure?
I've been working a lot in weight room. I know I'm going to be probably body a little more, probably not be as open for wide open kickouts. A lot of off ball stuff's not going to be there, so I'm going to have the ball more in my hands. So I worked a lot of pull-ups, being able to get shots off like that.
Ty, you made one of the greatest plays in the history of high school basketball, in my opinion, last year, I think against Crimson. I just wanted to say that, so that was great.
Okay, thank you.
No,
do you remember that play?
Yeah.
I remember it.
What, was it awkward when you walked past them just now? 'Cause they were right before you. I don't know if they gave you the
cool.
stink eye or what, but yeah, that was an awesome play. That's all I had.
Well, Aaron, what was the most memorable moment last year? Was it the state championship? And if it was, what was the moment that led you guys to believe that you guys could win the state championship?
I would say definitely Ty's put back in that, coming down in that Crimson Cliffs game when he got that and won. That's when and also earlier in the season we played Pine View. Coach Espin's talked a lot about it this year, but we had Dallin Grant. Dallin Grant had a wide open shot, but he passed it up for a better shot. And Espin said, "What do we got to do to get you moving, get the ball?" And he said, I'm willing to pass up the good shot for the better shot. And that's kind of when I saw our team starting to roll and not worried about scoring lots of points a game, like for an individual player, but overall the team played better.
Ty, how much did having Tebbs and having Gage and having Dallin, pave the way? Now your guys' turn as far as leadership go. How much does that rubbed off on you, doing things a little different, or are you kind of trying to do some of the same things they did in a leadership role?
Yeah, it's been big. I mean, I played with those guys for the whole entire time I played basketball my whole life, so I picked up on a lot of stuff, like what they're doing good. Their leadership is something that I've kind of took this year. I've tried to be like them with all these younger kids that are coming up, try to lead them to hopefully take some of those attributes too.
Zab, who do you pattern your game after? Is there a college player, NBA player that you kind of like to watch because you feel like you can pick up a move here and there and you're able to kind of emulate it at your own level?
I kind of look at everyone. I try to study the game and I try to learn a little bit about everyone. So I could say I model my game after a lot of players, I guess.
Ty, who does his game remind you of? Give me one player. Give me an NBA guy that you think Zab kind of emulates.
Jeez, that's tough.
Aaron, you got somebody in mind?
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, he's 35.
Yeah,
That's
35.
Yeah.
Got the length to get a three off on anybody, but likes to get to the rim still.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Got that turnaround jam.
He's my favorite player, so.
Have you guys ever seen Zab come out in a game and not have energy? Like, it seems like no matter who you're playing or what the situation, like he's bringing it every game. I can't imagine him not playing with energy. I don't know if there's.
I don't think I've ever seen a practice where he didn't come out.
Right.
He's a loud kid, but
that's awesome.
It brings energy to the team.
Coach, how deep is the bench going to be? You said 8 or 9, but early will you play 10 or 11?
Early, we might be at 10, but you know how it gets down to the region, it turns to a 7-8 man bench. So through the first month of December, it'll probably be 10, maybe 11, and then we'll shorten it from there.
Who are some names? I mean,
some names, like I said, we've mentioned some of the seniors that are there. Stockton Albrecht, Nate Rogers, Ty Bronson are my juniors that we're really looking at to get some time. We've got a sophomore that could be thrown in the match. Braden Tebbs is another one. Trying to think of all, because, it's a group that we're more balanced. I don't think, like we said a year ago, coming into it, I already knew who my starting 5 was.
Yeah, it was pretty
and
hard.
I was pretty good with 3 deep on the bench. This year, I'm pretty good at starting 3. So from there, depending on what we've got, if we want to go longer, we've got to go one way. We've got 2 kids that are 6'4", 6'5", somewhere in there. And then we got some guards that are all around 6 foot, 5'10", in that range. So it's going to change some of the things we do. It's going to make us play a little bit differently. We don't really have a Luke Armstrong in the middle to play through this year, to clean up some of the stuff on the backside. If you get beat out front, we don't have that guy on the backside that's going to change shots. So we're having to do a few different things. We're looking at things offensively and defensively. But again, we're looking to push the ball early, like we did a year ago. High energy kids, and we are looking for leadership out of these 3. And they're different leaders than we were a year ago. Zab's loud. He is. He's a kid that gets up and down. He's competitive, does not like to lose, and it shows up in practice from time to time. And sometimes you got to calm him down. And the other 2 are a little more quiet down at that end of the bench. They're not quite as loud, but they do some things. They work hard. They don't want to come off the floor. They want to show the kids how it's done right.
Zab, when I introduced you, first starting lineup of the season, we're calling the game on ESPN Radio. What position am I going to announce you as 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5?
We don't know. This year is completely different. Like Coach said, like last year we had Luke, we had Dallin, and this year we're gonna play at a 5-out most of the time. And I think everyone can shoot it, everyone can put the ball on the floor. So this year we kind of really don't have any positions. So whatever you want to say.
I guess I'll just introduce you as an athlete.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm okay with that one.
What's the Coach Espen practice like, Aaron? I mean, take me through just quickly. Like, I mean, are you running gassers right now, trying to get in shape, or what?
I'll tell you, Mondays are the worst. We already got our assistant coach threatening to have us run a mountain. It's a lot of running, but a lot of defense. But it's a significant difference between what it was a few years ago, where it was a lot of just getting shots up in offense. And I mean, we've been winning the past few years, so we're willing to do it because it works.
Coach, do you think we're going to see more I mean, we just talked with Crimson. They want to go up tempo. Dixie and Snow can maybe slow it down. Desert Hills looks like they could go up tempo, so does Pineview. Like, what do you see as far as tempo this year in the region?
I think it depends on who you're playing. We have a kind of a theory. We want to get a shot up in the first 7. If we don't get a shot up in that first 7 seconds, we're going to move the ball around until we get a great shot. We did it. My first year I came in, I'd watched these guys play the year before, and we were going to say, guys, we're not going to lose 90 to 95 games, and I turned around and lose a 1 to 101 to 100. So I don't know if that was a good statement, but we had to slow it down. We had to talk about team basketball, good shot versus great shot, my shot versus team shot, which I think we caught it, and these guys are starting to catch onto that. And if you have that, if you get that good shot in transition where you can get people trying to find you, it also opens up the backside for backside rebounds. We kind of look at that, and then if not, we settle down and play. But I still think it comes down to, if you want to go win it, you've got to play better defensively, come down those last 5 or 6 games.
Coach, like last year you had all that sickness through the year, and then at the end you kind of gelled having all your players. Have you had any problems this year or through the summer and this year with anyone sick? Or
haven't really had any sickness. Our only problem in practice has been Zab with a sprained ankle from his volleyball experience. But other than that, we've been pretty good.
Tell me more about this volleyball experience, Zab.
We don't want to talk about it. I'm back. I'm good to practice today, so
awesome.
We're all in.
The Cedar Reds, the state champs, will try to defend the state title. And Coach, real quickly, just your thoughts on your schedule, your preseason schedule. You like it?
Oh, yeah, I like it. I think it's a tougher schedule than we had a year ago. To tell you the honest truth, we start off by going on the road to play 3 against the northern teams. And you draw Ridgeline, Skyview, and Mountain Crest the first 3. We come back, we draw RSL and the Green Valley, and then we have Spanish Fork, Bountiful, and Riverton. So we drew some pretty good teams right out of the block, and that's kind of what you want. You can go play the lower schools, but I don't think it's going to help you get ready for Region 10.
Coach, thanks for bringing the guys down from Cedar, and we'll see you out on the court, huh?
Thank you.
All right, Zab, Ty, Aaron, good luck.
Appreciate it.
Congrats on last year, and good luck trying to go back to back.
Appreciate it.
Cedar Reds, everybody. That wraps up our coverage for all our teams, but we'll have one more segment when we come back. We'll tabulate the preseason poll as well as the MVP race when we come back. Again, if you missed anything, you can go watch it on demand, sportsradio977.com or CEC TV on their YouTube page. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this 3-minute timeout.
In 1861, 309 families blazed trails to southern Utah to settle St. George and formed Dixie State University from the back of a covered wagon. Today, St. George and Dixie State have risen from the desert as one of the fastest growing cities and universities in the country. With 200 academic programs, small class sizes, and active learning education, Utah's lowest university tuition, and boasting the hottest job market in the nation, see why Dixie State was voted one of the best colleges in the West.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education.
No one receives a diploma alone.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Maybe the rush of adrenaline has nothing to do with revolutions per minute, or the weightless gasp as you crest the hill. the land of adrenaline is called. Rise to it.
1, 2, 3, 4. 0.52 kilograms.
This graph is square.
Pretty close.
Artemisia is all the same pressure, but there's your needle and thread. Which one is this?
Come down. Turn, please. Right. Sodium carbonate.
Oh, sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
Beyond the park you know, exists a world you don't. A world that is greater. Greater than just one passion. Greater than just one adventure. Greater than just one moment. Come to where life is greater. Come to Greater Zion.
Our panel sticking around: Devin Dixon, Darren Cole, who's doing some mad scientist math right now, and Andy Thompson. Boy, oh boy, we've been doing this for years and years and years now for high school sports in Southern Utah, and it's fun. It's fun to talk with the coaches. It's fun to hear the excitement for the upcoming season. And there was a lot of seniors that were really talented last year, but the next wave is coming in. Andy, what stood out to you today, man? There was so many great moments.
I can't wait to see because it could be, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprised if 3 teams are at the top, or maybe even 4. That's what's cool about this year is we know we've lost some star power, but one of the constant themes was parity this year in Region 10. There's not going to be that big of a gap with the guys that have all the size, who are the top 3 teams. Everybody else is at the bottom. I think Hurricane's going to get a lot better. I think Pine View's going to have a better year this year. Can Cedar play at the level where they finished last year? Obviously, that's a big ask with some of the guys that they've lost. Some of the new guys, we know Dixie has some new guys that have moved in Snow Canyon. So I don't know. I'm excited to see Darren, who comes out on top as far as the media and coaches, who they voted for.
It's gonna be fun. You're right about always a move in here or move out there. Unfortunately for Crimson Cliffs, they lost Brock Felder, who I thought was one of the premier players and as a Division I big man, I think. But I love Coach Winter's approach on how next man up, and they're gonna be A-OK. You never want to count out the Flyers. I know last year they got knocked out a little prematurely in the tournament, but 2 years ago they were the state champ. Desert Hills and Cedar, who played for the state championship, I mean, we heard from Coach Allred, Desert Hills lost 8 seniors. And, Cedar lost their whole starting 5 for the most part, except for Zab. So they lost 6 or 7 seniors. So they do have their core 3 guys back with a lot more experience than Desert Hills has back. But I don't know. Region 10 versus Cache Valley and Region 11. Well, our region in basketball has won a couple in a row, but I know everybody looking at Ridgeline, what they did in football, and we'll see how it plays out in basketball at the end of the day.
Yeah, they've got some good teams, and that's what's cool about the preseason schedule and the tournament, North versus South, is we're going to get to see some of the best teams go up against each other to get a little preview. Doesn't always determine, it doesn't always stay the same at the end of the year who wins these games, but it will give us a taste of how competitive the matchups will be in the future. There's a lot of talent up there, but a lot of time. Another big question is who's going to be the MVP with the vote. So many, big-time talented guys that are coming back this year. Guys like Lyman Simmons. And let's going to be a junior.
Yeah,
I was looking out. I was saying to Coach Meacham, you got this guy back again, but I forget he's been playing since he was a 9th grader. So that's insane.
All right, votes are tabulated. Let's get to them real quickly. Let's thank our sponsors again: Ideal Home and Paint, Johnson Pediatrics, and our friends at Bucks Ace Hardware, and of course Holbrook Asphalt. Watch for the big score dessert all season long. When your favorite team scores over 55, everybody gets free dessert at Yogurtland. All right, Darren, tell us. Let's start with the preseason poll. Who's first? Who's second? Who's 7th?
Well, first of all, 4 teams got first place votes.
Okay.
So
that's what Andy was kind of talking about.
And those 4 teams all scored above 40 in the total tabulations, whereas the other 3 teams are all below. The other 3 were below 25. So first picked with 4 first-place votes is Dixie, with 52 total points. Second, with 3 first-place votes, is Crimson Cliffs with 48. Third is Snow Canyon with 46 total points, and they had a first-place vote. And Cedar had a first-place vote with 44. And then the last 3, Hurricane came in at 24, Desert Hills with 23 points, and Pine View at the rear with 14 points.
Which is a little bit different than the coaches poll that the Des News puts together. They had Dixie number 1, just like we do, but they had Cedar 2, Snow Canyon 3, Crimson 4. So the combined coaches plus media pushes Crimson up just a little bit in our poll from 4 to 2.
Yeah, it's. I think it's interesting though. It was crowded at the top. In fact, before we got the last one in, we had a tie at the top, so we knew it was going to be broken by the last entry. But it's amazing how close those 4 are at the top. And
you don't want to count the 3 out that were picked fifth. That's just a little poster board material for those teams.
Right. I mean, like I said, Hurricane this year, they've got a lot better size-wise, and they looked really good in their first game. And I don't know, Desert Hills always bring, like Dixie, even if they lose a lot of players, the program always brings back some good players. So
Desert Hill's style will be a lot different this year, I think. I think they'll, you losing a Justin Judkins, a Mason Landick, a Reggie Newby, a Keegan Munson, they're going to have to play a little bit different style this year, I think, to be successful. But I wouldn't count it out. I wouldn't count them out. I wouldn't count Coach Allred out. There's no question. All right, let's dive into our MVP race for a second. So, again, the predicted order of finish, to run it down for you one more time, it went, go ahead, Darren.
It was Dixie at first. Second was Crimson Cliffs. Then Snow Canyon was third.
Okay.
Cedar was fourth. Hurricane was fifth. Desert Hills was sixth. Pine View was seventh.
There you go. There you go.
So for the Player of the Year preseason voting, 3 players scored on every ballot. And we do it different. We don't have the coaches list the best player than the second. We would just say list 10 guys. So the fact that these 3 players were on every ballot, so they tie for the Player of the Year voting. And that's from Snow Canyon, Lyman Simmons.
No surprise.
From Cedar, Zab Santana.
No surprise.
And from Crimson Cliffs, Hudson Haas.
Maybe a little bit of surprise on Hudson, although he did average 12.5, 13 points a game last year and proved he can really stroke it. He just had so much talent last year that they were going so fast. There was a lot of guys that got shots, but I think Hudson's going to have a breakout year. So it really, when you think about it, it doesn't surprise me much either.
What's interesting is they're all 3 different types of players.
Right.
So you got the big man in Simmons. Haas was more of a wing guy, an outside shooter, but could also take it to the hole. And Santana was just a bull where he could shoot from the outside, but also he could bully his way into the inside. So those that just below them, and probably I'd say the first team, Bronson Barbin was on all but 1 ballot from Dixie.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Harrison from Cedar was on all but 1 ballot. And then on all but 2 ballots were Cruz Gardner from Hurricane, Benson Shepard from Pine View, and that looks like it. All but 3 ballots was Peyton Holmes, was just below them.
So that would be your first team, and then kind of that second team. Who else got a lot of votes?
Second team, Walker Morrison from Snow Canyon, Jordan Eaton from Crimson Cliffs, Travis Matthews from Crimson Cliffs, Risco Brooks from Dixie, Carter Slack from Hurricane, the Schroeder kid, I can't remember, I don't know his first name.
Jake Schroeder, going to be a sophomore. Or Nash Schroeder, Jake's his dad, yeah.
Pine
Nash.
View. Kean Webb from Dixie, Noah Lemke from Dixie, Rustin Shaw from Pine View, and Aaron Munson from Cedar all received 3 votes or more.
What do you think, AT?
I guess we'll see. I mean, we take these preseason polls, and sometimes it doesn't turn out like we expect, but no surprise that of the 3 that got the most votes in, Lyman Simmons, Zab Santana, was the postseason MVP last year in all of 4A, and then Hudson Haas, who, like you kind of were alluding to, Devin, with that roster makeup, he's probably going to get a lot more shots this year, so his points and stuff will probably go up a lot.
No question.
I remember last year, too, when we did the show, not too many of us were aware of the Mason Landick kid from from Desert Hills. Haven't seen him play yet.
Right.
And so,
So that's why maybe a Mackey kid from Snow
Yeah,
Canyon
right.
that's only
Some of these kids
sophomore.
we
I
don't
mean,
know.
maybe
Yeah.
he's all region by the end of the season. You know, maybe it's a teammate like a Bowen Hammer over there at Snow Canyon that didn't get a lot of votes that could play and got some varsity minutes. You know, and then Dixie, Limke's. People that watch the underclass games and know about, you know, some of these freshmen and then watch the sophomore game, this Limke kid is a sophomore. I mean, this is Noah Limke's little brother. He's the real deal. And with him and Kean Webb and some of their other size that Dixie has, I'm not shocked that they're picked number one.
right. And you know, I know Kean Webb's the starter now, but seeing them both last year from a sports writer standpoint, but also officiating, Noah Limke has some really good skills. I say offensively, he's probably a little bit better than Kean. Defensively, Kean probably has the edge.
Been fun. Darren, great job tabulating all the votes. AT, always fun to have you on the panel. And thank you all for watching. And again, if you missed any of your favorite team or you want to watch the whole thing, it's on demand, sportsradio977.com. Shout out to Lauren James and, of course, Marcus and our cameramen and women. And it's been fun, and we'll see you for baseball season on our next Region 10 Media Day.